Welcome back to On the Clock here on Forward Progress. I'm Jason Cooper here hosting alongside Eric Eager. And today we will be stepping into the shoes of Brett Veach and be drafting the first 3 rounds for the Kansas City Chiefs. Just a reminder, we will be drafting based on what we would do, not what we think the Chiefs will do, coming off of a big Super Bowl victory here. Chiefs haven't lost too much. They lost Willie Gay, lost Mike Edwards. They were able to get Chris Jones, keep Drew Tranquil, a couple other guys, lost L'Jarius Sneed, got Marquise Brown. Eric, before we get started here, before I bring up Pro Football Focus, is there anything you're looking at that the Chiefs kind of need to get, or any holes you feel like they need to fill?
Well, firstly, I am a big time Brett Veach Bobo. Like he's on a heater right now. 2 straight Super Bowls, 3 out of the last 5. So what I do and what Brett Veach, I might be just trying to emulate him anyway, but I think low key, they need defensive tackle depth, which a lot of people are overlooking. They need offensive tackle depth. Last year, they went into the draft without a left tackle. They came out without – they got Wanya Morris, but they ultimately went with Donovan Smith afterwards as the veteran. If they don't get a high-end tackle in this draft, they'll probably do the same thing as Donovan Smith, still a free agent. They got Michael Dana just re-signed here, so they don't necessarily need another defensive end, taking 2 in the first round the last 2 years. So I think for me, it's wide receiver, it's defensive tackle, it's offensive tackle are the 3 needs for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Lovely. And we'll bring up Pro Football Focus here using their mock draft tool. A lot of fun to use. And we'll enter the draft. But before we start it, I mean, there's obviously a ton of talent in this draft. And the Chiefs tend to move up quite a bit in the draft. Is that something you kind of want to be doing here in this mock draft, or is this something you're staying away from?
So not really, just because when I look at this, put a lot of money into Chris Jones, put a lot of money into Mahomes, Kelsey. I only have, if I'm looking here, I only have the 7 picks. When 2022 draft was amazing, I had 12 picks in that draft. I came away with 10, traded up for McDuffie. So I'm going to stay pat here at 32 probably, in all likelihood here. Even though I do think Veach is a trade-up guy, Veach's worst drafts have been when he's come out with only 4 or 5 guys. When he's come out with like 10 to 12, he's never come out with 12. But when he's come out with 8 to 10 guys, he's done great. Play the power of the numbers. I'm gonna wait at 32 and possibly trade back, which Veach has only done once in his Chiefs career.
All right, it's gonna be interesting to see. You're gonna start the mock draft here, and we'll pick back up when we get to pick 32.
And this is exactly where I want to be, because click on Zerton Newton. Let's look at his information here. So when I look at him, and let's look at his measurables here. If I can look at him from a first look, so 6'2", 295. So he's not a nose tackle, right? He's the heir apparent to Chris Jones, who they just signed to a deal. So he'd be a backup. He'd be kind of a player to play with Chris Jones. Not like a true nose tackle there. I could also look at Ladd McConkey as well. Another thought would be Zach Frazier. Remember how bad the snaps were by Creed Humphrey in the playoffs? Like Mahomes is like the lower vertebrae were about to go withered because of how many times he's bending over for the ball. I'm going to actually sit here and stay pat, though, and I'm going to take Zerton Newton, the defensive lineman from Illinois, and shore up that interior defensive line for the future.
All right, love it. We're going to lock in Jahan Newton here for the Kansas City Chiefs with the 32nd pick. Not even going to look at any trades. We're just going to lock it in here. Again, PFF has him ranked as the 8th overall player. ADP slightly lower at 22. Getting good value here. So I don't know how we can step away from this. Let's lock it in. Jahan Newton, Kansas City Chiefs, first round pick.
Before we get into our next selection here, if you're looking to bet on the NFL draft or the NFL or anything for that matter, Pinnacle should be your sportsbook of choice. Find out what pro bettors have known for the past 25 years. Pinnacle is where the best bettors play. You must be 19 plus, not available in the U.S. And as always, please play responsibly.
And now I'm at a place where I really like. Now, Chris Jenkins is there, the former son of Chris Jenkins, the former defensive lineman for the Panthers, who is also quite good. Now, Keon Coleman's the kind of guy that's not a Chiefs type of wide receiver, as you know, Jason, being a Chiefs fan yourself. Like, he's not a separator. He's not a guy that gets open. The Chiefs do. Patrick does not fuck around with guys that don't get open like that. So that, even though he's there and it looks like a value, that is not the Chiefs kind of guy. Edgerrin Cooper, by the way, if you look at a lot of people's favorite linebacker in this draft, they did sign They did sign Drew Tranquil to a long-term deal, but Nick Bolton is on a contract. Is on a contract. Here's what I'm going to do though. Okay, go to trade. Okay, go to Washington. I'm gonna. This is what I did with Rob last year. Go to players.
Who do you want to grab from them?
Jahan Dotson. I want. Okay, so give me. I'm going to take 64, and I want 78 back. I want to keep the content going.
All right.
So I'm going to do a pick swap for Jahan Dotson.
All right. So it seems like 72% chance to be accepted. Going to offer it up here. Not
Try
accepted.
Again.
Wow.
Try again. I built this tool, so I know. There we go. All right.
A little bit of finagling here. So we were able to get, for the 64th overall pick, we were able to get the 78th, get a little bit of an early third-round pick here. And we got a wide receiver in Jahan Dotson. Let's resume the draft. Hop over to pick 78 and see where we're at.
Okay. Now, that Devondre Sweat, now he's a no-touch here, but I'm going to take right tackle. Well, go click on Blake Fisher for a second. I believe he's the right tackle because Joe Alter left tackle. But let's go down to his snap count here, because we already have Jawan Taylor. He does have some left tackle experience. So I don't want to necessarily take him because I think the Chiefs don't play Jawan Taylor at left tackle for a reason, even though I do think he is a decent prospect. Let's actually double up here for value's sake and go with Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson, wide receiver, Florida State. First look at him, a big boy, 6'7", 237 here.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, he's big. Does he get open? Is a good question.
That's the question. Seems like the biggest thing about him is that he's just massive, pterodactyl-like catch radius. But hey, maybe if you're the Chiefs, you feel
let's hold off. Let's look at the board a little bit more. Let's trade back. Let's see if we can trade back. Let's go to 83 with the Rams. Let's try to get 99 back, and then let's give them 130, 131.
So we're going to offer the 78th pick, 131 pick for the 83rd and the 99th pick here. And it was accepted. All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump back into it. See what we got at pick number 83. Sweet. So tackle off the board.
Let's look at Corley. I like Corley a decent amount. We're kind of getting right on value there. Okay. He's a yards after the catch guy. He's and we have to hedge against the loss of our guy driving into trees and stuff in Dallas. So let's go with Corley here.
All right, we're going to take a look at Malachi Corley here. Just a quick look at his analysis before we pick him. He was a running back before he became a wide receiver. Yep. Shades of Laviska Shenault. I don't think it's bad at all if the Chiefs get a playmaker, put a guy on the roster who can, with the ball in his hands, can do something for him. With the 83rd pick, we're going to go Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky. At 95 now. Anyone interesting here for you? We have a tackle, Dominic Pooney. As we scroll down the board,
let's keep looking up. Let's do Jeremiah Trotter Jr. We need a linebacker eventually to replace, to eventually come in place of Nick Bolton.
All right, we're gonna lock in Jeremiah Trotter Jr. here. And if with our last pick, I mean, hey, we built up a pretty big arsenal here of picks. Took a lot of darts. And it's only the third round. Like who
down
like?
a little bit because there's one player I really like here. I think he does fit in. DJ James of Auburn. Can you click on him?
Yep.
He is. Can you look at his size? 6'1". He's only 164. Let me make sure that that's actually true because I thought he was bigger. 174 is what we saw. He's a Chiefsy kind of corner. 175 at the combine, ran a 4.42. I'm going to go with DJ James, the corner out of Auburn.
All right. Doesn't have the size and the strength, but apparently he has speed, was able to kind of work, not lock down, but kind of work with Malik Neighbors in college there. So last pick of the draft, pick number 99, we're going to go with DJ James from Auburn. And we finished up the mock draft here, pick Jersey Newton in the first round. That gives us an A+ here. We're able to trade back, get Jahan Dotson, trade back again, amass 3 more picks in this third round. We were able to go wide receiver, linebacker, and cornerback. Overall draft grade, an A. Eric, I know you built this tool, so you might be biased and you agree with this A, but do you think we could have done better? Do you think what do you think we could have improved upon, if anything, here?
Well, we didn't come out with an offensive lineman, so we're probably going to have to go out and get Donovan Smith after the draft. We're probably going to have to, we're probably going to have to pray that Creed Humphrey can snap the ball again. Yeah. that's probably the deal.
All right. Well, again, PFF giving us an overall grade of A, and I don't know, it doesn't factor in trades anymore. So getting Jahan Dotson, that's also a big plus for the Chiefs as well. But you don't care about our thoughts. We want to hear your thoughts, right? Do you think that we could have done better? What would you have done if you were us in our shoes here with this mock draft? If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan or not, just an NFL fan, drop down in the comments below what you would have done differently here. And if you're interested in some more NFL mock drafts, make sure you're subscribed to Forward Progress, as we got tons more coming your way.